So we're going to do this exercise where we're going to turn this into halftones, okay, in full color. Obviously, to do that, we're going to be using 4 layers, just cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, as you know by now. The reason why we're doing it like this, as I said, half an hour wasn't enough time to follow this in class. That said, it doesn't mean that at home it will take you necessarily longer than half an hour, but it will proceed much slower. Okay, so open this image. Okay, and we are going to, the first step is going to be to change it into CMYK. Okay, as you know by now, to do that, we just need to go on image, mode, and choose CMYK. It will ask us these things. Press OK. As you notice, there isn't much color changes. It didn't make any difference. Okay. So once we have that ready, we're going to go on channels. And here you'll be able to see the different channels making up this whole image. So let's say, let's start by turning some off. If I turn off the magenta, this is how the image looks. This is without the cyan. This is just the black. Okay, so you'll be able to gauge what image, what kind of layer, what color is composing what. Okay, they all contribute to the composition of the image itself, like for the image to take place. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this small menu, okay, over here, and we're going to choose split channels. Okay, we're going to split these channels so I can start editing those. And you'll notice here suddenly 4 different files opened. One with black, yellow, magenta, and cyan. And the naming is going to be very important, okay, because each halftone screen will need to be a specific color. Yeah, it will need to be a specific color, and also there are specific angles associated with that, like I was explaining in class, to avoid the moire effect. Right, so let's start with the cyan. Right, so at the moment it's in grayscale. Let's go to bitmap. Remember, input like the output method, we need halftone screen. Press OK. Frequency, let's say we do 35. Shape, you can make a diamond. The important thing is going to be this. Angle needs to be 15 for cyan. Okay, because we're starting with cyan. This is going to be very important because the angles are associated with the specific colors. So don't mix them up. Cyan is 15 degrees. And press OK. Right, so we're going to have this. Let's do the magenta. Okay, we're going on image, mode, and bitmap. Remember, input like output, halftone screen, frequency, we leave it the same. Right, but magenta, the angle, we need it to be 75. And press OK. You'll notice that they are different angles. And that's how that rosette that I showed you in class will form. Now let's do the yellow. Image, mode, bitmap. These, we leave them like that. Frequency, leave it like that. And yellow angle needs to be 0. And press OK. The black, image, mode, bitmap. These will leave everything the same. And angle, we turn it to 45. And that's it. Our halftone screens are done. We just need to start layering them on top of each other. So let's start with that. Well, I'm going to select this. So I paste it in another file. Okay, I'm just, as I explained today, I'm going to copy it. Okay, so Control A, or Command A, I don't know what's yours. I'm going to copy it with Command C. The reason is so it's in the clipboard and it's the exact size already. So you see the clipboard is there, create, and I can paste it here. The first thing that I'm going to do, you see that this is cyan. First thing I'm going to do is, first of all, go on the layers, and I'm going to rename this, okay? Because if I confuse them, it's going to be a whole mess. So here, layer 1, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to rename. Right, or I can just do this, so double click on the name. And that one is cyan. I'm going to copy, select all, and copy this one, and paste it here, and I'm going to call it magenta. I'm going to take the yellow one, select all, copy, and I'm going to call it yellow. Once again, select all, copy, paste it here, and I'm going to call it black. Right? Like this, I'll be able to recognize what they are, because otherwise it's going to get quite complicated. Now these, I don't need anymore. Now, let's start with black. The black, we'll be leaving it as it is, okay, because the black is already black. So for now, I'm turning it off. The yellow, I would need to select all this black and change it into yellow. Well, first thing that I will do is I'm going to select it using the magic wand. With the magic wand, if yours is on quick selection like this, you would need to hold it and find the magic wand. Okay, and click on that one. Mela, make sure that this contiguous is not on. When I'm going to show you the difference. When you use the magic wand and you click on something, it will select literally everything on that layer with that in that color, right? You'll notice that even all these tiny dots. If contiguous is on, when I click, not only the things in the same color that are touching each other would be selected. For example, here, because they're kind of continuous, they're selected, but here where they don't touch, they don't. All right, obviously that's not what we want. So make sure that contiguous is off like this. Now, once it's like that, okay, make sure to select it. We're doing the yellow and go on the color here. Okay, here you'll notice that, for example, we have CMYK colors here. So mine is already set like that for yellow. Make sure that cyan is 0, magenta is 0, yellow is 100, and key is 0. Once yellow is selected, press OK. Right, I just noticed that the image mode of this is still in grayscale. Okay, if for example you go to select the color and you notice it's still white, it's because it's in a different color settings, usually grayscale, because that is the last one we used. So here, I'm just going on, for example, CMYK. Down. Right. Okay. All right. Excuse me, I didn't want it to flatten. That's how much I didn't want it to flatten it. All right, so we have all of these selected, and we're going to do fill, okay, like we did today. Mela, go on edit, fill. This is important. Contents needs to be foreground color, and press OK. And you can deselect, okay, Command D. Going to turn the yellow off. And now I'm going to do the same thing to magenta, but obviously the color, I need to choose magenta. So I'm going to double click here. Cyan needs to be 0, magenta 100, and yellow 0, and key 0. So this is pure magenta. Okay. I'm going to select it again. Select the black with the magic wand. Okay, make sure that everything is selected. And again, I'm going File, Fill, Edit, Fill, and OK. And that's my magenta layer. Now, the last layer is going to be cyan. Right, so I'm choosing the cyan from here. Magenta to 0, and cyan to 100. The rest need to be 0. Press OK. Select, Edit, Fill, foreground color, important, and OK. Now, obviously, this one, it will show like this because the white is blocking. So we're going to do what we did today in class. We discussed the blending mode, okay, to kind of make the white transparent. So let's start from the black. I'm going to turn it into multiply. The yellow from normal to multiply, and magenta from normal to multiply. And you'll notice that, for example, obviously halftones work best at a distance or in a smaller scale, you know. Obviously we didn't make it tiny because we want to see it. For example, like this, it's a very good full color image, right? Which is composed practically of these dots. And this is how you make full color using CMYK and halftones. Alright? Notice these rosettes are formed. That's so we don't end up with the mortar. If you don't get the rosettes like this, that means that you did something wrong. Okay? And that would be your image. Make sure you save it and upload on the blog.